Oh, what? Is it working? Hello! I'm back again. Just having some fun doing this playthrough of another route of Steins Gate. My arms gonna break. Excuse me. That I got differentiate between the two, because significantly difference between Steins Gate and this game. Of course, you're all lab members, so go right ahead. As soon as the words left Suzuha's lips, everyone took the gadgets in their hands and started examining them from every angle. Now that I think of it, I think this is the first time I've ever seen them so interested in their gadgets. It was only me and Daru until a week ago. But now I kind of regret that it wasn't me who built these gadgets. Well, technically it was. Okay.
危ないからいきなりガバッと広げないで。
Okay. Man, that fit. It's not really my cup of tea, but here you say it, get me all hot and bothered.
だから変態発言は自重しろと言ったるだろうが。
Anyhow.
あれ、このメガネ、なんかかけてもかけなくてもあんまり変わんないんだけど。ほんとかにゃ。フェイリスも試してみるにゃ。
Up there, static glasses. Be still, my heart. What doesn't set Daru off? Well, it's a party, so I might as well let him have his fun.
ちょっと、桐生さん、何してるの？
Hmm?
何ってこれを動かそうかと思って。
Shining Fingers stood before the panicking Kurusu holding the skateboard. But from what Daru explained, the skateboard is... Christina, stop her right now! That can't go off in here no matter what!
ダメよ、桐生さん。それ以上やったら部屋の中が甲羅まみれに。
We were too late.
どうしたにゃ。これは一体何事にゃ。
Soda sprayed everywhere and the skateboard smashed into the wall repeatedly. The laboratory had become a sticky carbonated hell. Damn you, Finger! How dare you!
ごめんなさい。ちゃんと掃除するから。
That's right, you will.
すごく冷たいです。
わあ、炭酸ってすごいんだね。マユシーはびっくりなのです。もうびしょびしょに濡れちゃったよ。
Excuse me. Anyhow. Honestly, say I'm soaking wet again, please. That's your daughter, Daru. Daru, you might want to learn how to self-censor.
にゃにゃ、もうこんな時間にゃ。
Ferris stood up in the middle of the festivities.
それじゃあフェイリスはそろそろお店に戻るにゃ。
What, are you leaving? I haven't perped over you more. Just kidding. Daru couldn't hide his disappointment. But it really wasn't all that late.
フェイリスはお店に戻ってやらなきゃいけないことが残ってるにゃ。フェリスちゃんは大変なのです。
Only Mayuri calls it Ferris instead of Ferris. It's a subtle nickname, but an affectionate one. As I mentioned before, Mayuri works with Ferris as Mayushi Nyan Yan at May Queen Yan Squared. Aww. For someone who can be a little soft between the ears, I'm impressed that Mayuri is doing so well at work.
マヨシーもいつまでも遊んでたらダメにゃ。宿題いっぱいあるって言ってたにゃ。宿題は明日からやるよ。ね、デカくん。
あ、ごめん。僕はもう終わらせちゃった。
Luca's so adorable too.
僕は優等生なのです。
Mayuri, you really should focus on your studies. That's what students are supposed to do, after all. Is this today's Luca's stocking segment? Huh. I don't need the pedestrian education taught in schools. For I am Hoin Kyoma.
理由になってねえよ。
Yeah, it is Kurisu. Thank you. This girl before me probably has no need for a typical education system either. Student okay, maybe it's they talk. I always end up thinking you're older than me. Aw. I like Moika. Every Nyan. We saw Ferris off as she walked out the door. Then Kurisu stood up.
さてと、それじゃあ私もこの辺で。
クリスちゃんも帰っちゃうの？
ううん、私はまだ完成させなきゃいけないガジェットが2つほどあるから。
What? You're making more?
だから全部あんたがやれって言ったんだろうが。
Like I said a million times, I can't remember.
状況が変わろうとあんたはあんたなんだからグダグダ言うな。
Damn, she's got a point.
とにかく資金難をなんとかしなきゃならんのならつべこべ言うな。
Bankruptcy? I was going to ask her what she meant, but she disappeared behind the curtain into the development room. Bankruptcy. I'm sure that's what she said. Hey Daru, what did she mean by that? She meant just what she said. Daru explained that our recent gadgets brought about by our bankruptcy. The future gadget laboratory was never exactly flush with cash. Something really serious must have happened. How the hell? I want to know the reason for our bankruptcy, but... Daru and Mayuri didn't waste a word. Their faces told me everything I needed to know. It was my fault. So what are these other gadgets we're working on? They're... I'm not telling. Come on. If you don't know, maybe you should wait until they're complete. It'll be more fun that way. Oh, you can try to figure them out yourself. I mean, you're the one that came up with them. Shake my head. Oh, they know I can't remember anything. And their teasing makes my curiosity even worse. Okay, Daru. If there are 2 gadgets in development, why not tell me about just one of them? It's it, but I don't think about either. Really? Really, Maka says she came up with them, not you, Ocarine. Christina? So I'm gonna leave you to think about them both. Christina's ideas, huh? What? Hang on. Maka say, okay. Christina's ideas, huh? Could it have something to do with neuroscience? That is her specialty, after all. If that's the case, that must be. Nope, no idea. Well, if I don't even know what I told my crew to make, there's no way I'd be able to figure out what my assistant is making. Well, what? Did you figure it out somehow? Now things are getting interesting. Right now, don't care what these next 2 gadgets are. Not even going to ask why we're in dire fights. We've got 5 new gadgets on hand. I'm sure they'll help us get the money we need soon enough. You guys, the future of these future gadgets is bright. Right. Do you give up without questioning or without guessing? Don't worry about the details. Now's the time for fun. Let's get this party started. Now, the party's almost over. Hey, Lukako, Finger, this calls for a toast.
Okabe-san.
ちょっと岡部うるさい。
Hey, can you hear me? We've got a problem. Actually, no, that's not quite right. Problem doesn't even begin to cover it. Listen carefully. Our lab has been taken over. Like I said, it's bad. What? No, the enemy is too capable. There's no way to retake our lab without casualties. If you truly insist, then there's no other way around it. I'll do it. Right. We're breaking in. We survive. The first round's on me. L. Sai Konkru. Put away my cell phone and stepped into enemy territory after I checked this message. That's my stomach. Sorry about that. Now I put away my cell phone. Christina, how long are you going to make me wait before we send the next D-ma-
うるさい。
What?
私は今新しいガジェット作りに忙しいんだとさっきも言っただろうが。それが完成するまでは D メールは使用禁止。だからそれまで邪魔するな。わかったな。
Yes, Queen. She didn't have to be quite so vicious about it. Besides, this is my lab in the first place. Yelling at you and tossing you out of your own lab like that. Maki say the goat. I looked up at the voice and saw Daru looking at me with a grin on his face. He's still frowning. I wasn't tossed out. It was a strategic withdrawal. By the way, Daru, when did you get here? Just now. Give me the TTLDR version. It appears he arrived just as I was sneaking behind enemy lines. And as for Christina, well, I kind of understand how she's feeling. As a researcher, being interrupted in the middle of your work is a real pain. Guess I'm out of luck. Experimenting on D-mail is certainly a pressing matter, but it's not worth risking my life over. So it's bled now. If I can't perform, it's a reason to stay around here. What are you gonna do, Daru? Are you going to make Queen again? I wish I were, but I was actually just there. Now I see. After hanging at May Queen, you decided to swing by the lab and play a Rogue or something. Bzzz, wrong, not a Rogue, but MMO. They just dropped a bunch of new quests today. Hey, these ones have me fighting this really strong dragon. Daru continued to wax poetic about his dragon, but I didn't pay much attention. Whether he plays in a Rogue or an MMORPG makes no difference to me. By the way, Ocarine, did you hear about what's going on in Ocupa? No, not really. What is it? There's this band that's really popular lately. You've probably never heard of him. Underestimate me at your own peril. Of course I've heard of them. Really? Color me surprised. Phantasm. Apparently they're a pretty big deal. They made a splash last year in the indie music scene, and made their official debut this year. Shortly thereafter, they provided the theme to the anime Ryonet Kakeru. Ferris mentioned something like that a few days ago. Anyway, why does Phantasm have everyone so riled up? This signal jacked Ocupa's airwaves. Signal jacked the airwaves? That's right, I guess it was some kind of promotional thing. That every screen Ocupa from PC monitors to UPX billboard display, streaming their music video, and have people going nuts. Airwave hijacking. Still, it up fast against popular. Not that anyone knew who they were a year ago. If you have already jumped the shark, I've been over like 2 years already. Despite how annoying Daru's rambling was, most of his words didn't make their way to my brain. Because something else was occupying my thoughts. Or even listen to Ocarine. Daru, that's it! I looked Daru dead in the eyes. Straight into his slightly dilated pupils. What's it? I'm talking about hijacking the airwaves. If they can do it, we can too, right? He's giving me a look that says, what the hell is this guy on about? Still, I keep talking. Think about it. What is it that we're trying to do? Make weird gadgets and play with them? No! We're trying to destroy the system that controls the world and plunge society into chaos. Creating gadgets is only part of it. Oh yeah, I guess. So why are you bringing that up now? Seriously? How can you be this dense? I want to do the thing. The one they do on TV all the time, the speech thing. Oh, I got you now. Like a Sieg Scion kind of deal. Well, close enough. Once the system has been destroyed, we need to let the world know. But we won't be able to do so if we haven't prepared for it. Now I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, think we can do it? Yeah, no prob. Excuse me? His response was so casual that I couldn't help but blurt out my disbelief. To be frank, I was hoping things would unfold in a more dramatic, thoughtful, one last ride sort of fashion. But hey, if the man knows he can do it, all the better. We're gonna need the right equipment, though. You do know that this laboratory doesn't have any budget to spare, right? Of course I do. In that case, yeah, I think we'd only be able to hijack the analog networks. Daru explained that hijacking the digital networks would be extremely difficult for us as we are now. It's not to say that hijacking analog networks would be much easier. We want to hijack the analog network and a whole lot of power. If we used all the equipment we had in the lab right now for signal fusion, our video could be seen in pretty much just Akihabara. Oh, he's still talking. Analog networks in this day and age, and only in Akihabara? It sounds so pathetic. Oh, we don't have to do it if you don't want to. No, that sounds good. So, you want me to do it? Precisely. It's easy enough to give up when something seems pointless. But a small step forward is still a step. For realsies? Of course. While it may seem like a pointless waste of time at first, this is essentially the cornerstone of our greater achievement. Oh, and just so you know, signal fusion is a crime, even on a small scale. What? Seriously? Huh? You didn't know? Of course I did. I didn't. A crime. I may want to destroy the system governing our world, but it doesn't mean I want to be a criminal. I want to plunge our society into chaos, sure, but I want to do it legally. Okay, so it's a dogo then. Yeah, it's about what I thought. What do you mean? What I mean is, regardless of what you say you are, you're a chicken. You never get involved in anything seriously dangerous. What did he just say? He just called me a chicken? Did he just call me a chicken? Nobody calls me chicken, Needles. Nobody. I'm just... It's from Back to the Future. I'm sorry. Daru doesn't yet know it, but I'm going to make him eat those words. So I'm gonna go chill. Halt! I called out to him as he was leaving. My tone firm, yet effortlessly cool. No force, no matter how mighty, could even think of stopping me. That's a go. Huh? He stands frozen in place, stupefied. Look in my face, my soul, I begin to stupefy. Ha ha! Sorry. I say it again, slowly. Didn't you hear me? I said that's a go. A go? Is it you want me to do it? That's exactly right. For your information, I'm not getting worked up because he called me a chicken. I, Hoin Kyoma, refuse to yield such minor insults. For that is the choice of Steins Gate. Are you serious? We're doing it, even if our actions defy God's will. Besides, if it looks like we're in a real trouble, we can always back out at the last second. What are we gonna do if we do hijack the airwaves? You probably haven't thought about it yet, have you? We can save that decision for when the time comes. First, we have to make the machine. Got it, my favorite right arm? Alright. But I'm gonna need to use some of the stuff that's in the lab. Sure, that's not a problem. Our inventory is at your disposal. Now our plans are in place to make gadget number 14. Guess we need to hold another meeting soon. Anyway, my work for the day is done. I'll leave the lab to my assistant and Daru, and head out to Akihabara. Cool then. I'll get to work once Bakasei's done with her stuff day. I'm counting on you, Daru. Anyway, I'm heading out. Hey, Ocarine. What? You sure that's enough armor? No problem. Everything's fine. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Sorry. Sorry. I turned back to the smoking Daru and stepped out in the scorching sun. No sooner had I left the lab that someone called me by my full name. How many times must I tell you, part-time warrior? I am Hoin Kyoma, and I shall be addressed as such. So be it. You shall call me... Wait! I should be the one who gets to decide what you call me. Always? What the heck is she talking about? We've only known each other for a week. Though perhaps, through the lens of youth, a week might seem like to be a lifetime. Okabe's only a year older than her, by the way. Oh, I mean, she's from like 20 years in the future, but he's 19 and she's 18. Excuse me. Seemingly noticing how strange she sounded, Suzuha waved her hands as if to say, "Forget about it." Now she's pouting. But it will do no good. It's already imprinted in my head this girl is a part-time warrior. Nothing can change that now. As my gaze lowered, I saw a small shadow close in behind the part-time warriors of trying to hide. That shadow would be a small girl still in elementary school. She wore her short hair and pigtails on either side of her head. She just slides over. The moment our eyes met, the little girl hid herself behind the part-time warrior. Use this opportunity to learn from mistakes. It's only natural that her sister Braun would cower in fear before an aura as tremendous as my own. Suzuha gently spoke to the little girl she tried to hide. This little girl, Nai, is the daughter of the owner of the Oyama building, so I call her Sister Braun. I've heard that she's in 6th grade, but she looks much younger. I believe that's partially why her father, Mr. Braun, adores her so much. His love borders on madness at the best of times. She describes me as if I'm some sort of exotic creature. I'm not your uncle. Bah! I've told her what to call me before, but she refuses to learn. Suzuha looks up at the sky as if she's trying to recall a distant memory. Below her, Sister Braun is shaking her head in confusion. I see. I thought we talked about this days ago, but it seems as though things have changed. Anyway, I'm not old enough to be your uncle. If you're going to make me some sort of relative, call me Big Brother, okay? In this world, there are times when you call someone who isn't a sibling a sibling. Remember that, Sister Braun.
岡部倫太郎がわけわかんないこと言うから苗が困ってるじゃん。
My cat's been rubbing my microphone. I can smell cat. It's not nonsense. I'm teaching her the harsh realities of our society.
それが教育かどうかは知んないけどさ、そんなことばっか言ってると大変な目に遭うかもよ。
Trouble? Do my ears deceive me, or is that a threat? I'll tell you now that it won't work, for I, Hoin Kyoma, laugh in the face of danger. Aokabe. I turned around to look at who called my name. There stood a man with a stern look on his face. Mr. Braun, how long have you... Long enough, why? You teaching my knight things you wouldn't want me to hear? No, not at all. This man, the mere sight of whom make 10 out of 10 children cry, is the owner of the Oyama building, and a CRT or Braun Tube fanatic. This man is no Yugo, though ownership of the Braun Tube workshop has earned the name Mr. Braun. Come on, Okabe, now it's just a kid. So if you ever start thinking she's cute or anything weird like that, I'm gonna beat you to the ground with my bare hands. What kind of person do you think I am? What? Are you telling me my daughter's a pretty, you son of a bitch? Make up your mind. No, I've got some snacks for you. Let's leave this fool be and go inside. Seeing her smile, the owner's face distorted into a mockery of a grin. It was too disturbing to be called a smile. People who spoil their kids like he does are the reason there are so many DQN plebes in the world today. Oh yeah, Okabe. You're not doing those weird experiments anymore, right? Weird? Such rudeness. This invention will pave the way to our future. I don't care. Every time you run that stupid thing, it shakes the ceiling and drops a ton of dust on my CRTs. You know what'll happen if I hear that nonsense again, right? Another threat. First from the part-time warrior, and now from Mr. Braun. Is this some sort of workshop policy? Still. Mr. Braun, as I've told you before, your threats have no power over me. Violence is nothing to Hoen Kyoma. It does not scare me one... I'm raising your rent. Understood. It won't happen again. He nodded with satisfaction and proceeded to re-enter the workshop hand in hand with Nai. You got tricked, you fools! I declared my victory once I confirmed that they were both safely out of earshot. Consider me a coward if you like. But know this part-time warrior. Hoen Kyoma is a ruthless man who will achieve his goals by any means necessary. Suzuha's voice was surprisingly light. It seems as though she took my comments in stride. Well, if it's necessary, sure. We're going to hold another soon, in fact. Why do you ask? Suzuha looked so happy she looked up at the lab window and could tell... I could tell she was speaking from the heart. By the way, did you make up with Christina? Is that so?
そりゃ特に仲がいいってわけじゃないけどさ。でも特に悪いってわけでもないし。てかなんで？もしかして仲悪いように見えた？
No, it's nothing. I guess I was wrong.
そ？変なの？
Oh, capture card's messing up. Okay, we're back.
まあいいや。あんまりここで油売ってると 店長に怒られるから。また会議があるときは言ってよ。店長の目を盗んでできるだけ行くようにするからさ。
She waved goodbye before she disappeared into the store. Interesting. Well, better to have lab members getting along than hating each other. Until yesterday, Suzuha looked at Kurusu with hatred, but I guess that's changed. Though I suppose these things happen when you switch world lines. "10 years ago, in the year 2000, a man calling himself John Teeter appeared on an American internet message board. Claiming to hail from the year 2036, this self-proclaimed future man explained the workings of his supposed time machine. In addition, he shed light on a number of events that were supposed to take place after the year 2000. He was active on this board for a mere 4 months. However, his words and actions made an impact, and the word of his existence spread all the way to Japan. Though many of his predictions did come true, a fair share were proven false. And thus there are many who doubt he really came from the future. Though a man claiming to be John Teeter has recently re-emerged onto the internet. This time on the massive Japanese internet message board site @channel. When I engaged him, instead of the time travel theory he previously provided, he presented me with what he called the attractor field theory. According to him, our world is made up of countless world lines. The place where many of them cluster together are called attractor fields. An attractor field could be a large swath of history spanning 100 years or more. In his words, every single action is a single attractor field, and a single attractor field ultimately culminates into one single point, one single event. Let's say, for example, that I'm going to purchase a beverage. The decision to purchase Dr. P or cola is theoretically mine to make, but perhaps when I arrive at the store, Dr. P is sold out, or a friend buys a cola for me. One way or another, cola ends up quenching my thirst. In other words, the world is constructed in such a way that endless results have already been decided. Meanwhile, no matter how many emails I use to change the past, things ultimately end up in the same place. However, according to him, there may be more than one attractor field. Fudge. Sorry about that. In other words, if we manage to leave this attractor field, we may wind up in a world line that's part of a parallel world. I do not know whether this is true or not. I do not know who John Teeter is. He may be a fraud or a raving lunatic. But personally, I find the attractor field theory to be fairly interesting. A few days ago, I was thinking of the conversation I had with Teeter as I walked, and I found myself in front of Radicon near Akihabara Station. Radicon was just as crowded as ever, of course. Just the other day, an incident occurred in which a mysterious satellite-like object appeared out of nowhere and smashed into the top of the building. But things have already been... Gasp. That's all I could do to keep from gasping. Without thinking of it, I looked up at the building. The building that, as of yesterday, had a satellite sticking out of it. Aww. Right there. The satellite was nowhere to be seen. I needed to collect my thoughts, so I left the noise of the station for the quiet of the shrine. Known as the Yanabayashi Shrine, this tiny place can be found near Bonsai Bridge. A familiar face was there to greet me. It was boiling hot, still he smiled and gave me a small bow. Lukako, how many times do I need to tell you? I'm not Okabe Rintaro. A white coat and bright red kama pants. Traditionally Miko garb. Cosplayers at the highest end cosplay cafes only wish they could wear them this well. All pale in comparison to the sight before me. The sight of Urushiwara Luka, child of the head priest of this shrine. But he's a guy. Oh my god, this shit again. No matter how well the clothes suit him, he's no Miko. Why is he wearing them, you ask? Because his father liked that way. I almost feel bad for poor Luka, but I think that's just the way his family is. But there are more important things to worry about. Good, that's more like it. It seems you've been keeping up with your practice, too. I'm going to take a break again. Sorry. Later. Yes, stop streaming. Thank you.